stop me as we go and ask questions. I prefer to be an open discussion, dialogue. So yeah, I'm excited to get started. Today we're going to be talking about boosting revenue with performance marketing. And so our quick agenda today, we're going to do introduction, which we just completed, as well as a 101 on performance marketing and developing winning strategies, as well as action steps to take for your business. I'm the CEO of Vallo Media. We are a next-gen performance marketing agency. We help brands and companies grow revenue through performance marketing. And we were founded in 2020. I was in the big agency world for many years before that, before striking it out on my own. And since then, we've grown to really service a very broad range of clients. A lot of Fortune 100 companies you'll see up here, big brands, but we also work with small and mid-sized businesses as well, everything from startups to big conglomerates. Our focus primarily is in B2B and also hospitality, real estate, as well as some consumer marketing and technology as well. So I wanted to start just with defining what is performance marketing. How does this differ from maybe other forms of marketing that you're familiar with or that you've heard of? Performance marketing really is marketing that is driving measurable actions. This could be clicks, leads, conversions, or sales, but it's tied to some type of measurable outcome in your business. And so why does performance marketing work? It's outcome oriented, meaning that every dollar you spend is tied to some type of measurable outcome that you can look at and say, what was the impact of my business? Did this drive traffic to my site that converted into a lead or a sale? Did this result in a sign up or some type of measurable link to a return on investment? It's also data driven, meaning that performance marketing leverages real-time analytics to both track, measure, and optimize your campaigns for continuous improvement. And it's scalable. So once you find a winning formula, you can then take that and scale it. Performance marketing is very much eliminating waste in your advertising spend. Historically, campaigns can be, brand awareness, for example, like buying a billboard or running a TV ad, and you don't necessarily know the exact return that you're getting on something like that. There's certainly value in those types of marketing, but performance marketing is, again, directly tied to those performance results, and it's targeted and very efficient. So what we love about performance marketing is it allows you to reach very, very specific audiences, primarily online. So we're talking digital channels, and I'll get into what a few of those channels are. And it also allows efficiency because you can see exactly what you're getting. You can apply filters. You only want to reach people in a certain area. You want to reach people that have a certain job title or a certain interest. We can set those targeting filters on a lot of the performance marketing channels in which we activate for brands. And finally, it's very transparent. It's very measurable. The performance marketing provides clear visibility into how your campaigns are going, ensuring that you know exactly how your budget is being spent and how, more importantly, it impacts the desired business goal that you want to achieve. And so with that, I want to get right into some winning strategies that you can apply immediately. So some digital ad platforms that we look at in performance marketing are search ads. Maybe you guys are familiar with Google ads, ads on Bing or other search engines. These ads allow you to appear at the top of search engine result pages for key phrases that you know your target audience is looking for, right? So Google gets 1 billion searches a month or more. There are customers, prospects looking for your services. Showing up at the top through search ads allows you to really get that positioning quickly and efficiently, and you only pay when a user actually clicks on your ad. So if somebody is searching for, real estate services in a specific area, you will only pay when they actually type that into Google and then click on your ad. Social ads, I'm sure you're familiar with, across all various social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. These platforms are great for building awareness, driving traffic. Of course, they have very, very sophisticated targeting mechanisms as well. Again, based on interest, age, job title, things like that. And it's really great for driving brand awareness, but also conversions and sales. I'm sure you guys have seen social media ads and inevitably purchase something once in a while. So they do work, and they're really good at building that brand awareness. Retargeting is really important because this is what I consider very low-hanging fruit and very cost-effective. If you're not familiar with retargeting ads, these are personalized ads shown to people who had visited your website. So once they come to your website, and let's say they're interested in your services, but they didn't convert that first time around, this will then bring them back. So just place a simple pixel on your website, and it allows you to run retargeting ads through Google so that every single person that visited your site will see your brand, no matter where they go on the web. Any website with Google ad code will allow them to see your brand, and that serves the dual purpose of, one, maintaining your brand top of mind, but number two, giving them an opportunity to come back to your site. Let's say the majority of users, they don't convert that first time visiting your website. Maybe they're just doing research, maybe they're just learning about your company, maybe they landed on the site by accident. We want to make sure that we're bringing people back to your site, and retargeting ads is a very, very cost-effective way to do that. And finally, display ads. These are more awareness-centric ads, so very top of funnel. Videos can be placed on websites or in apps to build brand awareness and reach a broader audience. This is best for staying visible and also reinforcing your message across the web. I would say display ads I would do last out of all of these, because again, that's going to be more top funnel. This is for brands that are a little bit more well established. And so let's dig in a little bit more detail here. So as you can see, we've got a screenshot of office rental in New York City. And you can see that there's two sponsored ads that popped up. You've got the New York City office for rent from LoopNet, and you've got a Hudson Square office rental from coworking.thesquare.com. And so the idea with Google Ads is you want to have the right keywords and the right extensions in place. So these little blue links down here, these are called search extensions. Those are something that Google offers free on your ads. And again, you're only paying when a user actually searches for something and they choose to click. Again, you can apply very, very specific filters. You only want to show up when certain keywords are typed in, and you only want these ads to appear in a certain geographic location. Or you can go broad. It really depends on what your goals are. And the idea here is that these are very, what we consider high intent audiences, meaning that they're very specific in terms of what they're looking for. So they're a little further along in their purchase journey. Any questions on search ads? Yeah.
Actually, do you find that the conversions are high enough on the sponsored ones? Just thinking about how I use it myself, I tend to scroll past the first two sponsored ones because I want to get the thing that I guess Google has said is the most popular search result.
Right, organically. Yeah, and I actually do the same, right? And so the answer is, to your point, yes, there is a whole other world called SEO that allows you to get to the top organically. And for this particular case, we're only targeting users that do click on the ads, because for every person that doesn't, there might be 10 people that do. And so because you're only paying for a click, there is value in that impression. So if, let's say you and I, we go in to search something and we just skip past the first two. Sometimes you'll see which company it is. There's an impression that's generated in your mind, even though you didn't click on it, meaning that company's not paying. So every time you or I scroll past, the company's like, okay, no big deal, right? Because again, they're not paying. So they're getting a free impression, but they're not actually paying until a user clicks on that, right? And so from a conversion perspective, it is also something that we track and optimize towards. So when a user does click on the ad, we're able to track them all the way through to your website to see, hey, did this person take the desired action? Did they complete a form? Did they make an online sale? Something that we do also is optimize for what's called behavioral conversions. Not every user is going to click a form or sign up, but they might show their interest by spending a minute on the site or 2 minutes on the website. And so that's what we call behavioral conversion, and we're able to build qualified audiences based on those types of conversions as well, with the assumption that not everyone's going to convert when they first land, and we want to be able to bring those people back. More importantly, we want to send that signal back to Google. The more data you can feed Google, the better your ads will perform. And so that's a signal that we send back to Google to say, hey, users that look like this, that typed in this keyword and that spent more than 2 minutes on the site, we want more users like that because they're more likely to convert further down the line.
Got it. Okay. That's all.
Cool. Social ads, I'm sure you guys have all seen it. What's really popular now is like the selfie style ads, right? Every influencer is now running, doing ads for brands, right? So this is just an example of a carousel ad. We love social because it's very cost effective. Like one example that we use for social is running video ads and optimizing for a cost per view. We're talking pennies on the dollar for CPV. And so a cost per view, we can generate 100,000 views for a few $100s. And with those video viewers, you're able to build engaged audience segments. And so what that means is we can segment out people that watch 10 seconds or more of your video into a whole separate audience that we then target with carousel ads. So the video might be geared towards driving awareness, again, very, very low CPV, low cost per view, maybe just introducing people to your brand, they hadn't heard of you before, and then following up by then re-engaging those people who watch 10 seconds or more of your video with a conversion-centric ad, right? So maybe the video is more emotional messaging, now this is more like a clear call to action. And we want to make sure that we're highlighting, the benefits of your service, your product, right? So every ad on social, you could think about through the lens of a marketing funnel. And how does the message differ if this is the first touch point versus the third versus the sixth? And you're sort of gradually educating people about your service, about the benefits or features of your service or product, and then eventually nudging them towards a conversion. But you've taken the time to really educate them first.
And so for B2B, is LinkedIn your primary?
Yep, B2B, I think primarily LinkedIn, but you have to ask yourself, where are your B2B buyers congregating? They're also consumers, right? So just because they're a B2B buyer doesn't mean that they're not on Facebook looking at family photos, and they're not on Instagram, browsing with other content, right? So it does come down to saying, okay, who are my B2B buyers and which platforms are they active on? LinkedIn, yes, great professional network. What I love about LinkedIn, you can target based on job title. You can target based on seniority, their industry. And so we do a lot on LinkedIn for our own business. Demand generation is also really important. So if you're like the CEO of a company, being very active on LinkedIn, because typically personal pages get a lot more reach and engagement than brand pages do. And so there's a lot of new features on LinkedIn that allow you to actually amplify some of your personal posts that will also, again, you can leverage those targeting platforms. So very, very important. Email marketing as well for B2B and how all those things work together. So what are the components of a social ad? This applies across social platforms. Typically you'll have a headline, you'll have primary text, you'll have your media cards and a CTA button. So it is important to think about your creative holistically, because typically you'll have text on your image in some occasions. We don't recommend more than 20% as a general best practice, because again, you have opportunities for text in your headlines and your CTA buttons as well, and you want the primary text to complement your social ad. And again, this applies to all social platforms, including LinkedIn, if you're in the B2B space, and you always want to split test. So we'll get into just a moment about some best practices there. Some more, these are examples of story ads. So you've got a LinkedIn ad here. You can see that this company is promoting, downloading the report about holiday spending secrets revealed. So you want to always find a way to add value to your audience. Like, what is a topic? What is something that could add value to them in exchange for maybe an email address or something like that? This company is advertising free shipping, and here you've got some Black Friday deals. You also have some urgency that the sale ends on December 2nd. So you always want to instill some kind of call to action, and a sense of urgency always helps people to take that action quickly. And retargeting ads, this again is for showing ads to people who visited your website but didn't convert. So for example, you land on a client's, potential business's website, and then you leave without converting, and then all of a sudden you're seeing the ads everywhere, right? It's a great way to keep your brand top of mind, very low cost. Again, you're only paying when a user actually clicks on that retargeting ad. So all those impressions of your ads, that even if a user doesn't click, you're staying top of mind, you're getting value from that. And so here's an example. You visited, for example, the Bluehost WordPress website, and now I'm on yahoo.com and I'm seeing a giant banner for Bluehost, basically saying up to 60% off on hosting, click here to get started. So that's just an example of a retargeting ad. And they're available in all banner sizes. And display ads are visual ads placed on websites or apps that are designed, again, from an awareness perspective. This is great for staying visible and reinforcing your message across channels. Google offers this. It's also something offered programmatically, which is basically just a fancy word for a platform that allows you to place your ads on hundreds of thousands of websites from one dashboard. And just some examples of display ads. This is what you call a half page. Here you have a medium rectangle. There's also leaderboards. And something new that Google offers is PMax. So those stand for Performance Max Ads. That's Google's new AI ad solution. So we've had some really promising results running PMax ads for clients. It essentially takes a combination of images, headlines, and descriptions, and it mix and matches them algorithmically to show your audience no matter where they are online. So the PMax ads show up across Google's entire ecosystem, Gmail, websites, YouTube, any Google property has the potential to show these ads, and it is AI driven, which is great because we've seen that really improve performance. And here's another display ad, as you can see here on the New York Post. There's a display ad here. This again is shown by the Google ecosystem. You can tell by the little small little icon in the corner there. And so how do you pick the right channel for your business? To your question earlier, right? So I think you have to understand your audience. Where do they spend their time online? Are they searching for solutions actively, or are they just browsing social media, or both? Secondly, you want to match the channel to their journey. And so you want to use social ads to build awareness or educate consumers or buyers. You want to use search ads for higher intent buyers. And you want to use retargeting to recapture your website visitors and bring back those warm leads. Tips for finding the right channels: survey your customers. Ask them, hey, which social media channels are you most active on? You can survey your email list. You can ask your social media followers. It's a very simple way to gain valuable insights about your audience. You could start small and test some ads on Google or on LinkedIn and see which perform better. Make sure you have the right tracking in place, of course, so you can measure that. And focus on intent. Use search ads for customers who are actively looking for solutions, and use social to create awareness or interest for audiences that might not yet know your brand. And review industry reports. There's tons of free market research out there if you know where to look. For example, Hootsuite has a social trends report. Think with Google is a free industry report from Google to look at search volume for your industry. And some key action to take as a result of these items. Start by identifying where your current customers interact online. You can also check your website analytics. So working with your marketing or IT team or whoever runs your website analytics platform, there's a lot of valuable information in there. It'll tell you which search terms people are coming to your site. It'll tell you where they're coming from, which geographic location, and it'll also tell you if there's referrals. So hey, we can see that these people are coming from Yahoo, or these people are coming from this other website. So dive into that Google Analytics or whichever analytics platform you use on your website, because it's a treasure trove of valuable data about your customers. Any questions on that so far? Cool. So the next step, once you have some audience insights and you know which channels, is to craft messaging that resonates. So leverage AI tools for copywriting. ChatGPT, Jasper, or Copy.ai will generate rapid iterations of marketing copy. For Google alone, we have clients with over 120 different headlines that we're split testing at any given time. We're able to do that very rapidly with the assistance of AI. Image and design tools like Canva or Adobe Express. These are free tools that you can use for designing visually engaging and professional looking ads. And A/B test with AI. So A/B test simply means testing one ad versus another and letting the algorithm decide based on what users are doing, which performs better, and then leveraging those insights to improve performance consistently. And some steps for developing effective messaging: start with your audience, address their pain points and their needs directly, focus on benefits, not just features, make it emotional and actionable. So use emotional language to connect and clear CTAs to drive action. Book now, get started, sign up, learn more. Personalize at scale. Use dynamic ad tools to tailor messaging by audience segments. For example, we talked about location, interests, job titles, things like that. And a key tip is to test multiple versions of your ad creative. Headlines, images, CTAs, to uncover what resonates most with your audience and let the data guide your decisions. I see a lot of clients just boosting a single post on social. That's okay, but to really get the maximum performance, you want to have a couple different versions. Maybe a different background color, maybe ads with different messages, one that leans into features versus another that leans into the benefits, one that's more rational messaging, maybe another that's more emotional, and test those against each other. It's very simple to set up in the social ads platforms.
Quick question.
Yeah.
So what sort of scale do you recommend to actually kind of filter out some of the noise, where you say, okay, I've tested 2 versions of this? Is it the number of impressions, or like at what level can you say, okay, yeah, actually this is clearly making a difference?
I would say, yeah, so 2 things. You want to look at the duration of the test. So I would say 7 days to 2 weeks is a good test period. Sometimes longer, because again, it's going to take a few days for the learning for the ads to exit the learning phase. So that you usually want to give time for that. And then also you want to give users a chance to interact with your ads. And so I would say a 2-week test, maybe a few $100 should be enough. And in terms of impressions, at least a few thousand, right? And so for a few $100s, you can easily generate a few thousand impressions. And the way that we measure that is what's called CPM. It stands for cost per milli, meaning cost per 1,000 impressions. So if you have a CPM of, let's say, $12, that means you could, for $12 investment, you could generate 1,000 impressions. And an impression is simply a person that saw your ad. So it could be on Google, it could be on Facebook, whatever it may be. And so I would say, yeah, at least a few thousand impressions, at least a 2-week duration, minimum 7 days, because it's going to take a few days for those ads to get out of the learning phase. And so that's really important. Great question. So just to summarize, and throw in a few bonus actions here. So 5 low-cost actions that you could take right now. And now this is actually going back to organic, right? So to your earlier question about organic search. Optimize your Google business page. Very important in B2C, but it's also important in B2B. People want to see that you're an established business, you have a presence, there's reviews on there. So set up a Google business page if you haven't already, and then start asking customers, former customers, current clients to ask them for reviews. And ultimately that's going to elevate your presence in organic search. Retarget your website visitors. This can be set up from the Google Ads platform. You can sign up for free, and that's going to allow you to retarget users who came to your site. Again, very, very low-hanging fruit. People are already coming to your site. In many cases, if you're running paid ads, you're paying to send people there. You don't want to lose out on those users, so you want to be able to bring them back through retargeting. Finally, engage on social media, post regularly, respond to comments, encourage followers to interact, and claim free ad credits. So Google, Facebook, TikTok, they all offer free ad credits with a new account. If you spend $500, you get $500 free. So definitely worth testing. They make it very easy to set up campaigns. They do what's called smart ads, which is basically a low-cost way to get ads up and running without any expert assistance. If you are looking for more detailed setup, there's a lot more options available from a manual standpoint. And yeah, so just Q&A, next steps, any questions that you guys have. There is a free ebook that you will be able to download as a result of attending today's presentation. Go to vallomedia.com/blueprint for the paid media ROI ebook. It's geared towards hospitality, but the strategies apply very broadly. And then finally, if you're interested, we're offering a free marketing audit just to see if it's something that is valuable or if there's any opportunities to improve your own presence, whether it be your website, your ads, or anything in between, social media, that sort of thing. So with that, I just want to thank you guys for attending. Really appreciate it, and happy to answer any further questions.